is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about my end of year plans, and we're going to be talking about it by doing the end of year tag. Now, this tag has been on BookTube for years. I have taken part in it pretty much every year I've been on BookTube, though most of them are not available anymore because 2016 me and 2024 me are two different people. But all that to say, I'm just going to go through the questions, talk about my reading plans, and I'd love to hear in the comments down below what your answers to these questions are, so feel free to let me know. Without further ado, let's hop on in. The first question is, are there any books that you have started this year that you still need to finish? And I feel like every year I say this, but I am the kind of person who doesn't read like a million books at the same time, so there's not usually a lot for me to say. However, I am in the middle of the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson in hopes to have finished my journey of books 1 through 4 in time for the release of the 5th book. I am currently on book 3. I am 144 pages into Oathbringer, and obviously these are chunky, so I'm currently in the middle of it. My aim is to have this done by the end of October to read Rhythm of War November and be all caught up for Wind in Truth. But this is a lot of time. It's a big time commitment, and so I am reading this slowly, and obviously I'm going to be in the middle of these books for a long time, so I'll say Oathbringer, but it's basically the entirety of the Stormlight Archives, and that is pretty much the only book that I'm slowly reading as I read other books, so it's the only thing on my TBR that could work for this question. Question number 2 is always kind of a tricky one, and it is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you to the end of the year? Some years I do, some years I don't. I have the perfect answer for this time around, and that is The Chronicles of Weatherwhy by Anna James, which is the first book in a series. This is perfection for this time of year. It is about Juniper and Rafferty, and they are siblings. They live in this world where everybody who is 13, like every year when people turn 13, they go to this place and are basically tested for powers. Now, pretty much everyone in the world has powers that are affiliated with the 4 seasons, and there are also enchanters who are kind of connected to all of the seasons, and our main characters go on an adventure. It is a very seasonal feeling. I think this book starts in the spring or like March or something, but obviously as the story goes through, you kind of have this like darkness, those kind of like academia vibes as well, and it touches on a lot of the different seasons, so this should be like a perfect transitional book for every season, but I really do feel like the vibes fit autumn perfectly, and the audiobook is also fantastic, and just like the cover itself feels very fall, and I automatically also associate Anna James with fall just because the Pages and Co series to me also is fall. So that is my answer for that, and I truly think it is a perfect, like, the seasons are changing kind of vibe. I'm obsessed. Question number 3 is there a new release you're still waiting for? And I feel like every year I get so excited for so many releases. I make a lot of videos on anticipated releases. I have a couple on my channel that I will leave in a playlist for you guys, either in the cards or description. But I am not waiting, like, at this precise moment for anything other than Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, and I don't know who I am because I am not a fantasy girl. I am a romance and middle grade girl through and through, but this series has been taking over my life this year, and it's just all I am getting ready to do is read that book with everybody who are going to read it for the first time. It's going to be magical, and so that's definitely like the release I have in mind. Are there other books coming out? Obviously, but I don't have a lot of books like pre-ordered for this time of year, either because I'm not caught up on the series, or a lot of books I have just kind of like heard of I think are interesting, but I'm gonna put my time in my own bookshelves instead of purchasing those books. So for now, I would say Wind and Truth is definitely like my top priority. I'm waiting for December very, very anxiously and excitedly. Question number 4 is, what 3 books are you wanting to read before the end of the year? I have 5, I think, so I'm kind of cheating with this one. One is the obvious Rhythm of War, because I need to read Rhythm of War to be able to get to Wind and Truth. That book is book 4 in the Stormlight Archives. But if we leave Brandon Sanderson aside for a minute, I have a few other books I'm really looking forward to and wish that I can get to before the end of the year. One I have is Ember Spark and the Thunder of Dragons by Abby Elphinstone. Basically, in this, we follow a main character who becomes a vet for magical beasts, like she becomes an apprentice, and this is the first book in a series. They are shorter middle grade books with like big font, and just like dragons and magical beasts and like taking care of animals are some of my favorite things, and so I think this is gonna be a like 5-star prediction. Definitely feel I could really love this, and I would like to read book 1 to see if I want to give it my time in 2025 and like continue on with the series. Another book I have is a more recent release, and that is The Last Dragon on Mars. This is another middle grade book that I have been talking about how excited I am. It is kind of like a mashup between Skandar, which, if you're new here, Skandar is like my ultimate favorite middle grade book. I talk about it all the time. I have reviews for the first 2 books, a live show, the whole shebang. But this is pitched as Skandar meets Aragon, and it's from a very beloved author. I had not heard of this author before, but I have been told that they do have other books, and I feel like that makes sense as to why like we got a special edition first print run of his books, which is like stunning, by the way. And yeah, first in a series of The Last Dragon on Mars. It sounds right up my alley. And 2 other books I would like to read, which are kind of like put together, I guess, are the Burnout and Playbook by Rebecca Genshak, which are 2 books in like her newest series. One is like a motocross and gymnastic romance, and the other one is a football romance, and the 2 boys are brothers, and that's kind of like how the series is interconnected. I learned about Rebecca this year and became absolutely obsessed with her after reading Tutoring the Player, and I just want to read at least 1, if not 2, of her books before the end of the year, just so I can solidify that she is indeed a favorite author of mine and that I can put her works in priority for my reading in 2025. Question number 5 is there still a book that could surprise you and become your favorite book of the year? And for that, I have 2 answers on based on what I've been reading recently. One is Amari and the Night Brothers 3. I still haven't gotten to it. I am shocked by this because it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I just love the Amari and the Night Brothers series so incredibly much. I have talked about it on my channel a lot, and I just think that this book could go directions that I'm going to be absolutely obsessed with. Kind of heartbroken as well, because I do think we're getting into like the 3rd book in a series where the climax is going to be a little bit more important and decisions will be made that will have a bigger impact. But I do think my chances of falling in love with that book are so incredibly high, and similarly to that, I do think that Skandar 3 or Skandar 4 could be on that list if I get to both of them this year, because I love Skandar 2 a million times more than I love Skandar 1, and I already love Skandar 1 like with all of my heart, so I can't even tell you how much I love Skandar 2. Though I will say I am completely afraid to be heartbroken by Skandar 3 or 4. I don't know which one is going to rip me to shreds, but I hope that when it does it in a positive way, and that I am just going to like be both sad and happy. And if that happens, it's definitely going to take the top of the list. Though, that being said, my current favorite book of the year is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, and I truly do not think anything could beat it out of that rank, just because. But like they would be very, very close, or maybe they can both be number 1. Like I don't need to have favorites, but for now it's Tress, and even if like Skandar or Mari rip my heart out of my chest and glue it back in, I'm not sure. It's gonna be Tress, but I'm open to new favorites, always. The last question in this tag is probably my favorite, and it's, have you already started making plans for the upcoming year, so for 2025? And to that I say, heck yes I have, because who am I if I am not a planner? Now, I'm not going to go into detail about my plans, but I thought I'd let you guys know about a few of them so that if you wanted to make up your mind on whether or not you want to stick to my channel or not, this is a good indication of what is going to happen in 2025. First things first, the book club, the middle grade book club, there are going to be some changes, but I'm obviously going to stick to it. I just want to give more of my time to the middle grade book club because that's how I promote my love of middle grade and share it with you. So there's things that I want to tweak, but obviously that's going to stay. Candyland is also going to stay, but I might also throw in, and you'll see in December, another kind of TBR game for special occasions. So those two things are obviously staying on my channel. They are staples and I love them. Everbloom Academy, which is a readathon I started this year, will be happening again in 2025, obviously. So we are going to do year 1, semester 2, semester 3, as well as a summer camp edition of Everbloom. So there will be kind of 3 times where the readathon is going to show up in 2025, or even more, but those are the things that I'm currently working on. For other projects, I want to work on one, and probably what is going to take up a lot of space on my channel is the TBR tackle project. I have seen like Becca and Riley Marie do these things where people are making it a challenge to read their physical TBR, and I have really started focusing on my physical TBR instead of buying books all the time. But my aim is really to focus on my shelves, but make it an interactive and fun vlog style challenge with you guys. Obviously inspired by all the amazing creators here on BookTube. I am again not reinventing the wheel. I just want to hop on the wheel. Other things I am wanting to read are Brandon Sanderson. I'm going to keep making my way through Sanderson's backlist. Once I'm done with the Stormlight Archives, I'm going to go back and start Mistborn. So if I can finish the first era of Mistborn in 2025, I think that would be great. I would also like to get to some of his other secret projects, especially the Wizard one. I think is the one that interests me most next. So those are some things I would like to continue. Nevermore is something that it's going to take up a lot of place on my channel in the beginning of the year, leading up to the release of book 4 that we have been waiting for, what, like 2 or 3 years at this point. So it's something else I want to put energy on and kind of share that moment of anticipation with all of you guys. Other than that, Percy Jackson is something I want to work on, like the entirety of Percy Jackson, all of the world that Rick Riordan has created. So all the series, I think I want to reread and read some of them for the first time and share that with you guys. And if not, I might also participate in the catch-up book club for John Gwynne. I never know how to pronounce that author, but the Malice series and another series is chosen for the Backlist Book Club, which is hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, as well as like I think 5 or 6 different hosts. And I've been getting into higher fantasy, and obviously right now I'm reading Brandon Sanderson because it's convenient, because I have a friend who introduced me to Brandon Sanderson and I fell in love with it. But even though that friend might not be reading those books, I could use the internet and read them with other people. So I think that might be something to look forward to as well. Obviously some things will come up along the way. They might derail my plans. Life is life, but that is what I want 2025 to look like, with romance somewhere in there as well. So I do think that the genres that will be prioritized are definitely middle grade, romance, and adult fantasy. That's where I am heading with my channel. If you have any suggestions, any things you want to see in 2025, things you want to change, things you want me to keep, do let me know in the comments. I'm open to all of the suggestions. So that is it for this tag today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love, again, to hear your answers in the comments, or if you've made videos, let me know and I will go watch them. And I'll see you very soon with another one. Bye guys, happy reading.